Welcome back to Beaver TV for commentary of Hampton and Richmond versus Chippenham Town. On a Mother's Day special match, the Bluebirds are flying their nest to face off against the Beavers at the Beveree. If you're a mother of Chippenham Town, the Beveree is certainly a place you would advise your child against visiting, as it always seemingly ends in tears for the visitors. They have not won a match against the Beavers in TW12. In fact, more often than not, Hampton and Richmond have come out on top in this clash, with 6 wins and 3 draws in their last 11 encounters. Meanwhile, it is a 4th consecutive home match for the Beavers, who are enjoying their time here, most recently securing a 1-0 win on Tuesday night against Farnborough. Currently 5th in the league, Hampton and Richmond could overtake Braintree with a win today if that result goes their way. I'm Laura Howard, and joining me today is Eduardo Tansley. How are we feeling ahead of this one, Eduardo?
Pleasure to join you, Laura. Another big game in the run-up to the playoffs.
Absolutely. And there will be an announcement here prior to the match. Players are just being welcomed on, and Will King, the directing manager, is making a bit of a speech, which we will just listen into and report on for you here. So, now ex-Hampton and Richmond goalkeeper Alan Julian is announcing his retirement from the club here today on the pitch. He has decided, in light of his recent injury, that he will stop playing at the end of the season, and is now receiving a round of applause from the crowd watching on here at the Beveree. Just talking now about friendships that he's made at the club, and doing a few thank yous. So he spent a reasonable amount of time at the club, starting his career at Brentford, and winning both Players Player of the Season and Managers Player of the Season in the 2021-22 season. Now, speaking a bit about the future of the club and the goalkeepers we currently have here, we see Adam Dubois, who has been in great form this season, very important to us. Now being asked for some words of wisdom.
Last question, mate. What's your fondest memory of your time at the bed?
So, words of advice were to work hard and enjoy every moment. Alan Julian there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Julian.
Alan Julian now receiving a round of applause at the Beveree. He has played his last game for the Beavers now and steps away to take up a job in the coaching staff at Hampton and Richmond. Really lovely atmosphere here for that one, Eduardo.
Definitely, and a seasoned professional, over 600 professional appearances, of course, so he's definitely got the most out of his footballing career, and I'm sure he'll be happy to help Hampton and Richmond as part of the coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant that the club have managed to keep him on in that role, and hopefully a sign of things to come for the club, that people like Alan are wanting to stick around. Talking about today's match then, you were obviously here on Tuesday, joined the 1-0 win over Eastbourne Borough. There's a 90 plus 5 minute winner from Mason Bloomfield. Can you talk me through that match and the feeling when Bloomfield put that one away?
Yeah, I mean, it felt destined to be a 0-0 all game long, to be honest with you. There was, not a lot going for Hampton in the final third until a great bit of ingenuity from the free kick that saw Bloomfield with a tap-in the end. And, yeah, some absolute scenes following that goal to really continue that playoff push coming into the last 10 games of the season now. Really important 3 points. So, yeah, just to be able to turn that game that was going into a draw into a win, that's really important. Yeah,
absolutely. And Mel, I was listening to Mel Gwinnett's minutes after that match, and he was talking about how he didn't feel that Hampton and Richmond had necessarily been at their best, particularly in the first half. Was that something that was perhaps notable in their performance, and where can they improve for today?
Definitely. I mean, when Eastbourne came here, they were, I believe, 7 points from safety, and they looked like a team who were very much competitive. You wouldn't have thought they were that much in danger. They were on the front foot against Hampton and Richmond, so I think that we can definitely try and keep the ball down when you consider the talent we have in the attacking third. These are players such as Ben Seymour that need to be getting more touches on the ball than they saw in the first half against Eastbourne, and if you can get these creative players involved, then more positive things are going to happen.
Absolutely, and talking of those creative players, I'll just run you through today's team sheets. There is 3 changes for Hampton and Richmond. Rob Hall drops out and is replaced by Bailey Brown. Mason Bloomfield comes in after that late difference maker on Tuesday's match for Tope Fadahuntsi, and Charlie O'Connell has seen the end to his loan. He's back at Peterborough now, so Dominic Ravan makes the starting lineup today. So, to run you through the full lineup, it is Adam Debois in goal, Rory Donaldson, Louis Fernandez, Ben Seymour, Jake Gray, your captain today, Sam Deadfield, Sam Dreyer, Bailey Brown, Isaac Pitblado, Mason Bloomfield, and Dominic Ravan. And then on the substitutes bench today for Hampton and Richmond, we have Rob Hall, Tope Fadahuntsi, Dan Wishart, Alex Gibson Hammond, and Joshua Anafawos. For the visitors today, Chippenham Town and manager Gary Horgan takes charge of a side that features Will Henry in goal, Craig Fassenmaid, Aaron Amadi Holloway, Luke Haynes, Tyreke Johnson, Matt McClure, Tom Owen Evans, Tom Mayhew, Luke Spokes, Dan Ellison and Will King. Their substitutes are Jake Evans, Alex Bray, Kane Bradbury, and a commentator's nightmare in Ed Williams and Nat Williams on that bench. They've made just the one change from their midweek match as Luke Haynes comes in to replace Jake Evans. And on the officials today, we have referee Konstantin Hadsidakis and Chris Stobart and Chris Britton as his assistants today. But Eduardo, we've seen a pretty good record, as I mentioned earlier, in fixtures against Chippenham Town. It's 11 matches played against them, 6 wins, 3 draws and only 2 losses. How much do records count for, do you think? Is that something that will be on the players' mind, or is this a completely new slate here today?
I think, you can consider records and that mental aspect of it as well, but also the context of today's game. And, those other games are important as well. And if you look at today's game, Chippenham are coming in mid-table with, I'd say, not as much to play for as Hampton Richmond, who are going for that playoff push. And you look at Chippenham, they took a 1-0 loss to fellow playoff hopefuls Braintree last month. And you're thinking if that's a win that Braintree can pick up in the push for the playoffs, then it's something Hampton Richmond will have to do to compete with those teams. Yeah,
absolutely. And I was going to touch on that. We're obviously in 5th place here. 2 points, I think, behind Braintree, or is that correct? Or perhaps
it's definitely very tight,
very close.
There, isn't it?
Only 2 points ahead of the 2 teams behind us as well. So we're coming into what many would call the crunch point of the season here. Do you think that added pressure? It's all starting to build now. Every game must win at this point.
Yeah, I think there was a huge sigh of relief when Bloomfield got that winner, like you said, on Tuesday, because every game now is that important with only 2 points between 4th and 9th place, as you said. So, yeah, definitely going to be a relief with every 3 points.
Absolutely, and again, we're speaking about Bloomfield, and that goal was so important. We've seen Bloomfield, that took him up to 10 goals after a bit of time without scoring, but Seymour also not scored in quite a while. How important is it that Seymour perhaps gets back on that score sheet more than anything, and how important have those two been and will continue to be this season?
I think obviously it will always help if we get a penalty, Laura. Seymour doesn't shy away from tucking them away. But to have two players such as Seymour and Bloomfield in double figures is not something a lot of teams from around the National League South have in their favour, to have two prolific strikers such as that. So I think their efforts have definitely been huge to propel Hampton Richmond into playoff contention.
Absolutely, and we'll just have a quick look at our previous meetings, particularly this season. It was that man Mason Bloomfield on the score sheet last time out against Chippenham when we took a 2-1 win away at Harden Hewish Park. Jordan Thomas the other on the score sheet, and hopefully he'll be nearing his return from injury soon. It was Dan Ellison for the opposition, who scored an 89th minute consolation goal, but fairly comfortable that day for Hampton and Richmond, and they've never won at the Beverley, so we're going to be hoping for a similar form today. It's been mixed form for the visitors. They've lost 2, won 2, and drawn 1 in their last 5 games. So not anything like that you're thinking we can't beat them, but not anything too bad either. Do you think this is? What are your predictions for today?
I think we were sort of thinking the same of Eastbourne. They were coming in relegation fodder. You think, you know, we're going to be able to deal with them, but they came and they came on the front foot, and they very much were in the game for the large part. So again, Hampton Richmond can't be getting complacent against the lower tier opposition. This is a team that hasn't kept a clean sheet in the last 3 games. That is something to hopefully take advantage of. But yeah, absolutely, I'm sure that they'll be coming here, Chippenham, and they still definitely could provide a test for Hampton Richmond. But saying that, I'm going to go for a Beavers win today.
Absolutely, we've got to back the Beavers here. And talking of the Beavers, we might see a familiar face on the pitch today when Will Henry is in the starting lineup, and he was on loan to Hampton and Richmond. Back in 2018, he made 4 appearances for the club that season. He's also been called up for the England under-20 squad back in 2017. Another who was represented internationally at youth level is Alex Bray, who was in the Wales youth squad at one point in his career. And another potentially trivial fact here, you may not recognise the name, but Tyreek Johnson has got a Premier League appearance to his name. He came on late in a 3-2 Southampton win over Arsenal back in 2018. So a little bit of stardust in the opposition's squad here today. And just to remind you of what those squads are, I will be running through the teams now. So your visitors, as the teams make their way onto the pitch, Hampton and Richmond in white, and the visitors Chippenham Town in a maroon strip with a quite striking neon stripe across them, I'd say.
I quite like that one, Laura.
Yeah, it's something a bit different for sure. It's a full maroon strip, but just that one streak of neon. Anyway, that team today will be Will Henry in goal, Craig Fassenmaid, Aaron Amity Holloway, Luke Haynes, Tyreek Johnson, Matt McClure, Tom Owen Evans, Tom Mayhew, Luke Spokes, Dan Ellison and Will King. Their substitutes, Jake Evans, Alex Bray, Kane Bradbury, Ed Williams and Nat Williams. And then your Beavers today. Adam Desbois starts in goal with Rory Donaldson, Louis Fernandez, Ben Seymour, Jake Gray your captain, Sam Deadfield, Sam Dreyer, Bailey Brown, Isaac Pitblado, Mason Bloomfield and Dominic Rivan. That's 3 changes from that midweek win over Eastbourne Borough. Substitutes today are Rob Hall, Tope Fadahunsey, Dan Wishart, Alex Gibson Hammond and Joshua Anafawoes. The officials today, Konstantin Hatzidakis, Chris Stobar and Chris Britton. Teams are both out. It will be Hampton and Richmond lining up, playing left to right unless anything changes during the toss. And Chippenham Town currently completing their warm-up on our right-hand side, shooting from right to left. What do you think Chippenham Town's ambitions? How did you get motivated as a mid-table side? Pretty comfortable. Do we think there's going to be any issues with that?
It's certainly something that we see happening very often in football. You know, they've not got anything to play for, really. I mean, they're not in the playoff push. They're not really at risk of relegation. So it might be a case of just, it's a nice day here at the Beverley. Maybe they're in a footballing mood. We're going to have to see, Laura, but that will be a question for their manager, Gary Horgan, to have motivated their players, and let's see how they come out.
Absolutely, and it is a lovely day, as you mentioned, here at the Beverley. Day before Mother's Day, £5 ticket for mothers, and I think that's been extended to women to celebrate International Women's Day yesterday. So hopefully we'll see plenty of mums here today. Got any plans for tomorrow?
Unfortunately, I'm a few miles away from my mother, but I did send her a nice little card, a bit of tea, so
nice.
Hopefully she's happy with that.
I hope my mum's not listening. I'm yet to get her a present, but I need to sort that one out. I've got a card though, so I'm hoping that arrives on time. The teams are lined up here, and it'll be Chippenham Town who get us underway. It's a long ball forward, out over to the right-hand side, into that right-hand corner, and Isaac Pitblado is there to just watch that one off the sideline, and he'll take that throw in deep into the Hampton and Richmond half. Throws it up, aiming for Bailey Brown. He just mistimes his jump a bit, and now Chippenham Town can get on the attack. They're on the edge of the box over to the left-hand side, but Jake Gray wins it back, and it's Mason Bloomfield charging down the left-hand side, and he beats his man, and he's away. He's got Ben Seymour in support. He's approaching the edge of the box now, takes it away from the defender and just knocks it back out to Donaldson, who finds on the edge of the box, but he just squares it. It was Deadfield there who just skewed his shot, but it was a lovely bit of play and really good start to the match there for Hampton and Richmond.
What a great start. Bloomfield turned his man there with ease, turned the burners on, and then it was a great cutback as well from Donaldson. I think Deadfield definitely could have hit the target from there.
Yeah, it's one of those chances that perhaps came a little too early in the game for Deadfield, not quite got his eye in, but it was so tempting. No one really marking Deadfield there, and Donaldson just able to pick him out in the box, but Bloomfield is pressing high here. Hampton and Richmond out of the blocks quickly, and Donaldson wins it back in the centre of the pitch, and Gray's able to break forward here. Some real impetus from the Hampton and Richmond attack. It's knocked back to Fernandez, about just inside the halfway line, and Ravan will challenge for this one on the right-hand side into Gray. Gray whips it in, tries to find Seymour at the near post. It just misses Seymour, and Bloomfield watches that one out for a corner at the far post. What a start.
Great start from Hampton Richmond. Two pretty decent balls in and chances already, and Will Henry on that ball in, the Chippenham goalkeeper. He absolutely missed the ball, so it could have gone anywhere. Corner now, though, and hopefully we can continue this momentum.
Absolutely, it will be Jake Gray taking that corner out on the left-hand side. Players line up at the edge of the box. Hand's gone down, and the ball's whipped into that near post, and Bloomfield flicks it goalwards. Oh, there's protest that went over the line. Will Henry has it in his hands, and the goal hasn't been given. Do you think that might have crossed the line?
I'm not sure. From this angle, it looked like it didn't to me. I'm not sure whether they were appealing for a handball, maybe as well.
Yeah, potentially. It is now up the other end. It was certainly another fantastic chance for Hampton and Richmond, and they look like they will be getting a few more here today. But it's a challenge from Mason Bloomfield in the air has just been pulled back for a free kick here inside the Chippenham Town half. But yeah, certainly causing problems in and around that box. And it's back into the defence here with number 15, Dan Ellison, out into that midfield, looking out onto that right-hand side now of Chippenham Town, back into Ellison, and out to Amity Holloway on this right-hand side, left-hand side, sorry, for Chippenham Town. Back into Ellison, who's just obviously the goal scorer in the return match earlier on. He's just spreading play a bit, but it will be a long ball forward. Fernandez deals with it well on the edge of the box, but it's picked up by number 4, Amity Holloway. And number 4, Fasten made apologies. And Jake Gray jumps into a tackle there and manages to win that back, and Hampton and Richmond can break here. Number 14 wins it back. Luke Spokes on that right-hand side for Chippenham Town. It's been switched back to the left-hand side with Amity Holloway. And number 9, Matt McClure, the captain, is on the ball here. He just hits it back to Ellison. Ellison will look for that raking ball over the top out to that right-hand side, trying to find the path of Luke Spokes, but Donaldson does enough to just see that one out for a throw-in. It's taken quickly, and Mihu in a challenge with Brown. Brown lofts that one forward. It's Amity Holloway underneath it. Bit of head tennis going on here, but it's back on the ground now with Will King of Chippenham Town. Brown wins it back. It's all a bit scrappy in the middle. Fernandez looks like he's pulled a hamstring or in some pain there, and I think he's just managing to carry on. Potentially a bit of impact.
I think it might be the crown jewels, Laura.
Yes,
that's taking a blow there for Fernandez.
I realised. I thought he went in and overstretched it. And whilst that's not nice, I'm quite glad to see it's not his hamstring. He's certainly in some pain here, but it will be a free kick up the other end to Chippenham Town.
Chippenham just easing their way back into the game now after conceding 2 big early chances, and maybe you're starting to see why they haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 3. Definitely vulnerable to counter and conceding chances from early doors, so be interesting to see whether they're able to shore that up moving forward. But hopefully Fernandez recovers here, else we'll be in for a defensive blow ourselves here.
Yeah, the medic is on the pitch here. Will be checking Fernandez okay. Play still stopped. It's Ellison that will stand over the ball. It's about 5 or so metres outside of the Chippenham Town box when that one does eventually get taken.
Just looking across the league, Laura, it's been a early goal from Tunbridge against Hampton and Waterlooville. Otherwise, the scores remain scoreless there.
Of course, it's important to be watching Hampton and Richmond games with an eye on the table at this point in the season, with everything so tight among those playoffs. Fernandez is back on his feet here, still in some pain, but sure he'll be re-entering the field fairly shortly. And play will continue with Ellison just knocking it back to Will Henry, the goalkeeper. He's looking out to the left-hand side, trying to find Tyreek Johnson. And Dreyer cuts that one out, but it is now with Johnson out on this left-hand side. He'll look to play the cross in. It's raking out to that far post, but it's just headed off by Bloomfield, apologies. And it will be a corner to Chippenham Town, and potentially their first opportunity of any real note there.
What a delivery that was from Tyreek Johnson, just bent it off the left foot, and Bloomfield done very well to recover and nod that out.
Absolutely. And the corner will be played short here into the box, and just looking to ping it about, but it didn't really go to plan, and Jake Gray was able to cut that one out and just try and force it away with no real Hampton and Richmond threat. But the cross is back in, it's blocked by Brown there, and it's out for another corner on that far right-hand side. So number 14, Luke Spokes, who stands over these ones. Potentially a bit of a training ground routine there from the short corner, but not really coming off. So this time it goes to that far post, tries to find number 5, headed away by Fernandez, and Gray will close this one down from Johnson. Back out to Spokes. Spokes puts in the cross again. This time it's blocked by Dreyer. Spokes is back on the ball on that right-hand side. He's up against Seymour on the edge of the box. Gets the cross in once more. Dreyer's up again. And number 5, Amity Holloway, tries to go for the volley there. And again, it's blocked. It's all the way back out to number 20, Will King, who's almost on the halfway line here. Played out to that right-hand side, but just dropped back in now to Luke Haynes, who threads it out to the left-hand side with Johnson, and Johnson has a cross on him. He puts it in once more. The header's up. Number 10's on it, and it is a goal for Chippenham Town. Tom Owen Evans makes the difference for the visitors, and it's advantage Chippenham.
There was another great delivery from Tyreek Johnson. He's just done it a minute ago, and this time it's nodded down. And he had all the time in the world there to pick out the corner. Bit disappointed from a Hampton Richmond perspective to have not applied more pressure to the ball in that instance.
Certainly looked like there was a bit of disorganisation perhaps at the back after a series of crosses there for Hampton and Richmond. And fall to an early deficit here. Obviously Johnson, we mentioned earlier, has one Premier League appearance to his name. A Southampton Academy graduate.
You can see he's really got that on-ball quality, and one thing I'm surprised about as well is on Tuesday, Hampton Richmond's key strength for me was defending balls in with Fernandez and Dre, and we've gone and conceded from a few from a ball in there, so we need to stay solid in terms of that. Yeah,
certainly. I'm wondering whether the Fernandez's brief spell on the sidelines potentially threw things up in the air, but we are back underway here, and Seymour is traditionally chasing down a ball, and it's not cleared properly by Henry. Jake Gray heads it goalwards. It's cleared off the line by Amity Holloway, and that was very nervy moments for Chippenham Town. And the ball will come in, but it's cleared once more by number 5 Amity Holloway, and Johnson is just holding off Ravan, but Gray wins it back here. Goal scorer Owen Evans is challenging, and the free kick has been given for a pull on the shirt here to Chippenham Town. But that was certainly nervy for Will Henry. Completely scuffed that goal clearance.
I did say Will Henry earlier that the ball came in and he completely missed it, which could have led to Hampton Richmond chance, and that time, yeah, he's just scuffed his lines completely. We know about the importance of ball-playing goalkeepers these days, and he's made a hash of that one.
Absolutely, he's back on it now, and this time it seems reasonably comfortable. Spread it out to that right-hand side for a long ball forward. This time Fernandez does get his head to it, and it's cleared off towards the left-hand side for Hampton and Richmond. It will be a throw on Chippenham Town's right-hand side. It's just back into the defence, though, for Ellison to try and do some distribution. Number 5, Amity Holloway, is back on this. Back out to Henry. Certainly an area perhaps that Hampton and Richmond will be looking to put some pressure on after those nervy first few moments. And it will indeed be a Hampton and Richmond throw on this right-hand side. Gray took it quickly up to Seymour. And another throw right in that corner. Seymour looking to attack the edge of the box, beats the first player, can't quite beat the second, and Johnson will clear here up to number 9, McClure. And Gray just making the interception. Ravan now has it on this right-hand side into Deadfield. Back out to Ravan, and just exchanging passions here a bit on the right-hand side. A hefty challenge goes in on Fernandez, and it's given the other way by the looks of it. I think Fernandez thought it was a throw to Hampton and Richmond there, but it will be a throw on this left-hand side to Chippenham Town.
It was the skipper for Chippenham and top goal scorer with the big challenge there, McClure.
Yeah, indeed, and it's Will Henry on the ball now. Seymour applying some of the pressure, and Ravan cuts out the ball forward, just trying to find Johnson. Gray flicks it over the top, trying to find the run of Ravan. It's met by Amity Holloway, who shields that really well, but is forced into a clearance onto the rooftops by the pressure of Jake Gray there.
Amity Holloway off to a good start to the game. It was his clearance that prevented Will Henry's scuffed ball getting nodded in by Jake Gray as well, I believe.
Indeed, and Jake Gray now will throw the cross in out to that right, trying to find Donaldson, and Donaldson's appealing for a handball. Referee doesn't see anything in it. Certainly strong protest there, but the Hampton Richmond do have the throw in on this left-hand side. It's Pip Blado into Brown, and Brown will knock that forward for Pip Blado, plays the cross in, but it is cleared at the near post. Didn't quite get the height on it there. Dre is forced into a headed clearance, and Donaldson just cleverly ducking under a ball there to try and get it, but in the end it's Chippenham Town who come away with it on the halfway line here, and the referee is reaching for his pocket already, and it will be a yellow card to Fernandez by the looks of it. It's not been particularly generous with the calls for Hampton and Richmond, but potentially a bit of a harsh decision there.
I'm not sure I agree with that so early on. I'm a bit disarrayed with referees at the minute after my beloved Aston Villa. Dodgy red card in that game in the Europa Conference League. I don't know if you saw, Laura, but
I've not had a chance to look at that one, but I'm sure it was a grievous mistake. Yeah, certainly Potentially harsh yellow card there. Luckily, Chippenham Town managed to send the free kick from the halfway line over the goal. It's a slightly dubious taking there. It will be a goal kick for Adam Dubois to take here. Players lined up on that left-hand side. Will go long. It's over the halfway line, aiming for Mason Bloomfield there. He can't quite get up to it. Instead, it's Haynes who takes the header. But it will be out for a throw-in to Chippenham Town deep in their own half here. Again, on their right-hand side. Taking their time already. And we were talking about the potential for them to not motivate themselves, but they've certainly up for it here and are a goal ahead, in fact. Play back underway, and it's out to Johnson, the danger man, on this left-hand side. He's approaching the edge of the box, curls in that cross. Dubois there to catch that one this time. Looks to take the kick quickly, but doesn't see the options there. But Johnson keeps finding space on this left-hand side.
Absolutely, and after we've seen the quality that he's delivered already, you don't want to be giving him that kind of space. It's Revan, obviously, into the team for O'Connell, so hopefully he'll be able to put in a shift today and shore up that spot yet again.
It is indeed, and Revan will take a throw-in here on the right-hand side, inside the Chippenham Town half, just past the dugouts. Just waiting for that pass. He's got Bloomfield and Brown as options here. And he goes for Brown, but Brown can't quite find Bloomfield. Deadfield wins it back in the middle here. A bit of a contest. It's Mayhew for Chippenham Town who emerges with it. And they will now look to attack down their right-hand side. Switches it out to Johnson on this left. Revan is there to close him down. Johnson just trying to find himself a bit of space in this left-hand corner. Revan that equal to it at this point. It's number 20, Will King, who ends up getting the cross in, but Fernandez there to meet it, putting it out for... In fact, I think that came off the Chippenham Town attacker in the end, and it will be a goal kick to Adam Dubois. That is more like it in defence.
Yeah, Johnson did deceive him a couple of times, few fancy little flicks, but at the end of the day, the ball in was nowhere near as dangerous, and as you said, goes out for a goal kick, so much better. Dubois just lining up his goal kick. Back in the full orange strip. Sometimes see that full yellow one, but we're back in the orange today. It's a full white kit here for Hampton and Richmond. The goal kick's taken long, once more aiming for Bloomfield. Fernandez hooks it forward from the attempted clearance by Chippenham Town, and Gray and Deadfield trying to contest it in that middle, but can't quite win it back. It's Johnson on the ball, once again, this time inside his own half, and forced back out by Gray. Seymour will try to apply pressure to Henry, but the ball goes long, and Fernandez will head this back to Dubois for him to catch, and it's a long throw out to Revan on this right-hand side, and he has space to run into now. Takes it over the halfway line into Bloomfield, who flicks it forward with a great touch. There's protest from the Hampton and Richmond bench that was a slightly late challenge by Amity Holloway, but he did win it in the end, or certainly turnover. Fernandez has it back in defence here, and Dubois plays that out to Revan on the right-hand side. This time a little more pressure applied, but finds Deadfield on that halfway line, out to Gray on the right-hand side. And Gray will try to play a through ball to find Seymour, who's still on this right, to the right of the box. Just holds it up, waiting for the run of Gray, and finds Gray at the byline. Tries to cut it back, but there are Chippenham Town bodies there to defend it, and it can't quite get through to Brown. Cleared well, and Dreyer now is in a chase with Craig Fassenmaid on that right-hand side for Chippenham Town, sorry. Which team do you choose when they're not in possession? And Dubois has it under control. A little bit of a frantic moment there. Plays it long, trying to find Bloomfield. It might break for Gray. But it's Johnson who emerges with it and makes the clearance. Fernandez has time. Finds Revan on the right. And Hampton and Richmond looking to build another attack. Bloomfield trying to find the edge of the box. It's Johnson who wins it back, but Donaldson has it now. Finds Seymour on the edge of the box, and Seymour will challenge. But it's a surging run from number 6, Luke Haynes, to come away with the ball. And he plays out to Mayhew on that right-hand side. And it's back in Chippenham Town's possession, but
Hampton and Richmond starting to show signs of that attacking threat that we saw in the early minutes of this game there.
Seymour on the ball is always what you like to see, and it was a nice bit of creativity between him and Jake Gray down this right-hand side to see Jake Gray in behind, and there's no better and more promising ball in when you can just cut it back for a striker, and that's what Jake Gray was looking to do. Unfortunately, didn't connect with anyone that time.
Chippenham Town still in possession, but Bloomfield is challenging for it. So Amity Holloway is playing that ball forward. Desbois has come out his box to clear it, and he does much better than Will Henry. He had to, and he clears definitively off this right-hand side. It will be a throw-in to Chippenham on their left. Inside the Hampton and Richmond half. It's Johnson who's wandering over to take that one. Plays it back to Amity Holloway in defence. All the way back to Henry. Good pressure from Hampton and Richmond. Ellison on the ball now. Out to number 6, Haynes. It's just forced off that side, and Pitblado can take a quick throw here into Bloomfield. Bloomfield back out to Pitblado on the left. Finds Brown, and Brown looks for the run of Pitblado but can't quite put it into his path, and Donaldson's tracking back now. Manages to sweep it back to Dreyer, and Fernandez can take it forward over this halfway line now, out to Ravan on this right-hand side. Ravan finds Gray on the overlap, and Gray just looking to find Deadfield in the middle. Deadfield trying to find the run of Seymour, but it's cut out by Amity Holloway. He tries to turn away from Bloomfield, and Bloomfield just forced into a bit of a trip there, I think. A good bit of skill there by Amity Holloway. He certainly looked one of the more impressive players. Back underway. Reasonably fast-paced game this, would you say?
Definitely, it's a different test from Tuesday. On Tuesday, Eastbourne, they're a bit more of a physical side, much more urgence on switching the ball quickly, long balls. Whereas this Chippenham side, they're a bit smaller, even than Hampton and Richmond here today, and they're playing mostly along on the floor, which does give the opportunity for Hampton and Richmond to take use of their more technical players, because although they have the physicality, they definitely can create on the floor as well.
Absolutely, and there's a bit of a clash there between Adam Desbois and the Chippenham Town forward. I think it was Fasten made. Yeah, challenging for a ball there, forcing Desbois into a hasty clearance, but I think he ended up catching Desbois, and Desbois has won the free kick there.
Slightly unusual to see a winger sporting the number 4, Laura, as well.
Yeah, it's really throwing me, I have to say. Early commentary of this match, I was searching down the bottom of the list for the forwards, and it's right there at the top. It's usually a centre-back, I'd say. And Desbois will take this out to the right-hand side this time. Again, searching from Desbois, bounces over him and over Gray. It will be throw-in to Chippenham Town. Will be Amity Holloway. So far has looked very solid at the back for Chippenham Town. Played up this left-hand side. It's Ravan who will clip this. Fassame gets his foot in, but can't quite take it away from Ravan, who plays it back to Desbois. Desbois will go long, trying to find Bloomfield. Amity Holloway meets it first. And Haynes will play it out to that right-hand side for Chippenham Town, who will attack with Mayhew in that corner now, just turning Deadfield. And it's Brown who's back to make the header to clear, and Bloomfield picks that one up. And it will be a free kick, won by Bloomfield for a little push in the back there, I think, from Chippenham Town.
It was a nice skill from Mayhew just to knock it around his man and get that delivery in. But, yeah, again, it's Mason Bloomfield who's coming all the way back towards his own box to put in some defensive shifts. So I think Bloomfield definitely started this game with the right urgency, and he looks powerful and direct when he gets the ball as well.
Absolutely. The goal kicks aren't quite connecting here. This time it's up to Bloomfield, and once more it's Haynes that comes away with it. But other than that, Bloomfield's had a pretty impressive game so far. This time Johnson is finding space once more on this left-hand side. Ravan there to meet him. Just cuts inside, and Gray is there to meet it, knocks it away, but it's picked up by number 20, Will King, on the left-hand side, looks for a low cross, and Fernandez comes away with it, but it's out to number 10, and the block by Pip Blado was potentially necessary there. Tom Owen Evans, obviously with the first goal there, looked to strike from range, just at the edge of that box, but a good block, and Chippenham Town are being forced to rebuild their attack here, working it nicely down this left-hand side. Owen Evans on the ball again, challenged by Gray, and Gray manages to win it back here into Ravan, knocks it into Deadfield. Nice little triangle on that right-hand side for Hampton and Richmond to play it through, and Seymour is on the chase, wins it first in the box. You'd say that was a bit of contact there, but referee sees nothing from Amity Holloway, and he wins the ball back from Seymour there. This time the free kick's given the way of Chippenham Town, and Hampton and Richmond can't seem to get any luck from this referee.
It was assured defending again from Amity Holloway, who was able to ease Seymour off the ball. And like you said, another chance for Owen Evans, who I believe the goal was his first of the season, and he's got another chance there to double his tally. So, you know, it's yet again down this left-hand side, both Will King and Tyreek Johnson just outnumbering Revan on that instance and getting the ball in the box.
It's taken short from the goal kick by Chippenham Town, and Hampton and Richmond able to turn it over. Won back by Ellison, and it's now with number 14, Luke Spokes, out on that right-hand side. It's Owen Evans in the middle now. They're looking to feed it back across this left-hand side where they have found joy. It's Johnson with another superb cross in along the ground, and Fernandez will meet that first ahead of Matt McClure, who I think you're saying was the top scorer for the visitors today.
That's right, 9 league goals, so not too far behind the likes of Seymour and Bloomfield. But so far he's probably been one of the more quiet players, I would say, not too involved.
Yeah, absolutely. It all seems to be coming down this left-hand side, and that movement from right to left is certainly providing a lot of joy for Chippenham Town.
We definitely saw same sort of thing in the Eastbourne game, where down the right-hand side there was a lot of joy for Eastbourne. However, it was the solidarity of Fernandez and Dreyer who were just able to clear any ball that came in.
It's 2 hands raised here at the corner on this left-hand side. It's played out short to the edge of the box where Johnson's in, back to the far post, and Fernandez heads away. Amity Holloway picks this one up outside the box, and number 12, Mayhew, is forced all the way back to Will Henry in goal, who sits just outside that centre circle. He's looking once more for this left-hand side, and it's out from that one. The Chippenham Town player wants to throw in. Certainly look to go straight out from our perspective. And it's Ravan who will wander over to the right-hand side now to take this throw-in. Ravan into Gray. Gray will just take this one forward down the right, looking for Bloomfield, but just ends up taking a deflection off Johnson. It will be a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond, just over the halfway line this time. Played back into Fernandez, and Fernandez across to Dreyer. Those two just exchanging a few passes here. Fernandez will look to go forward, and it's Gray who meets it. Deadfield linking up with Bloomfield, and it's just behind Ravan, who's looking to take that in his stride, and it will be a throw-in for the visitors here on their left-hand side. Amity Holloway coming across to take that one.
And quickly, Laura, a quick update from elsewhere in this playoff race is St Albans taking a 1-0 lead over Maidstone, so they're currently leapfrogging Hampton and Richmond into 5th. Maidstone dropping down to 9th. That'll be a big game for playoff implications.
Absolutely. Maidstone, of course, with a good start and a good FA Cup run, but not managing to hold on to that cup run against Coventry City, and taking a bit of a tumble in the league, potentially as a result.
Speaking of cup runs, Laura, I believe Chippenham last season got their most historic cup run to the second round of the FA Cup, unfortunately beating my hometown of Lincoln City in the first round.
I think with both of us from the East Midlands, you might be favourable of that result. But National League South rep there, it's good. So throw in taken by Amity Holloway off this left-hand side. It's booted forward and Fernandez will just head that one down. Ravan can play this forward, trying to find Seymour. It's Amity Holloway under it again. He hoofs it up into the air. Brown under it. Deadfield under it, and he's annoyed by the contact from Owen Evans. Donaldson will look to play it into Seymour, and Seymour can't quite get on the end of that shot.
Donaldson's strike was going way wide, but there was a chance for Seymour to latch onto it. It was just a bit too much power on it that time to get it under control.
Tactic certainly seems that Ellison takes the goal kicks and Henry plays them long, and that's happened again here, but it's brought down by Fernandez, and Gray will have this on the right-hand side. Back out to Ravan, he's just inside the Chippenham Town half, finds Bloomfield, but Bloomfield can't quite get that under control. It's Ellison that comes away with it, and then Haynes playing that out to the right-hand side for Chippenham Town. And Spokes just playing it infield into Will King. Just playing a bit of a holding midfielder role there in front of the back three of Chippenham Town.
Chippenham being very... Ooh, good ball there, Laura.
Yeah, raking ball over the top out to that right-hand side for Luke Spokes. And he's in a dangerous position, just entering the box on that right-hand side. Cross-played in, but Fernandez there first. Once more, our two centre-backs proving vital in clearing those crosses, but this time on the left. And Johnson has space. It's turned around by that man, Owen Evans, once more, but this time Dubois gets down to it, and it's saved well. Proving a real threat in the box, though, Owen Evans.
Yeah, I mean, his first league goal, and he's had two great chances since. I mean, starting off that move, though, what a ball from Amity Holloway with the switch all the way over towards Hampton Richmond's box. And now Hampton Richmond come the other way.
It's a long ball forward, and Donaldson and Bloomfield both trying to win that one back, but it's hoofed away, and it will be a throw-in for Hampton and Richmond out on that left-hand side. Pip Blado will take this one inside the Chippenham Town half. Plays it into Bloomfield, a quick 1-2. And Pip Blado just looks to lift that one over. Can't quite find it, and now Dreyer is under pressure from number 9 McClure, but he manages to turn away from that well and play it forward. It's Mayhew who looks to emerge with this one, and Owen Evans will get on it about the halfway line. Finds Johnson in space on this left-hand side. Johnson once more looking a threat, and Ravan out to meet him. Johnson trying to get the cross in. This time it's blocked by Ravan, and it will be a throw-in to Chippenham Town.
Much better from Ravan there, preventing the ball in. He's going to have a handful with Tyreek Johnson, that's for sure. Being direct, putting balls in, creating problems.
Absolutely. And Johnson playing it short to Owen Evans. Back out to Johnson. Now back with Owen Evans on the left-hand side of the box, and Brown will look to get away, but he's just held back by Owen Evans, and that will be a card for the goal scorer here today. We saw Deadfield getting annoyed about him holding him back there, and hopefully that will mean Owen Evans needs to be a little bit more careful with those challenges.
I think that was just blatant in that case, Laura. You could see from a mile off that Bailey Brown's shirt was tugged.
Yeah. Good strength from Bailey Brown to actually get away from it in the end, but Owen Evans is being played in again down this left-hand side, and he'll approach the edge of the box, tries to find the cross for Fassenmaid, and Fassenmaid still has possession here. It's being held by Deadfield. It's all the way out to number 6, Haynes. It's blocked well by Fernandez, and that looked like it came with some power.
That would have had to be some strike to beat Dayboy. It was from way outside the box, but nice little dummy to leave it to, obviously, Luke Haynes from that area.
Will be a throw-in though now for Chippenham Town on that right-hand side, about level with the edge of the box, and Fassenmaid can take it into the box after a nifty little bit of skill. It takes a deflection, but it is saved by Dubois at the near post. Good readjustment there after that deflection.
Fassenmaid twice now, just showing his strength and ability to hold off players in the box and just keep the Hampton Richmond defenders away from the ball.
Chippenham Town playing slightly different, as you said earlier, keeping it on the ground quite a lot in this game, and it's proving a different challenge for Hampton and Richmond, I'd say. Dubois plays it long though, of trying to find Bloomfield. And Bloomfield has won this now, plays it, trying to play it through to Donaldson, but Donaldson's offside. Seymour might be getting on to enter it. He's appealing for a penalty. In the end, the referee points to the corner flag. Seymour brought down, but I think potentially just about a clean challenge there. What did you make of that one?
Maddie Holloway he's been great all game, but he took a risk there going to ground, and you know, when Seymour was running in, it's always a risk, but I think he's done just enough to avoid contact with Seymour.
Gray stands over this one from the left-hand side, plays it short to Deadfield. Deadfield trying to find Pitblado. Pitblado trying to play it in. Oh, it took a deflection and it just went past that far post. Fernandez nearly made it onto it, but it will be another corner from this right-hand side.
Inches away, Laura. Fernandez, he was just right by the ball at the back post. Could have tapped it in, but a nice set-piece routine working out there.
Absolutely. It's Deadfield who stands over this one on the right-hand side this time. Pitblado looking to run in. He's got Gray as an option short. Aims for that far post, punched away by Will Henry. Out to Pitblado, but it's closed down by Owen Evans. And Owen Evans just trying to clear this one. Hoofs it forward up to Mayhew, but it will be a throw-in on the left-hand side for Hampton and Richmond.
Owen Evans alongside Tyreek Johnson now, probably one of the standout games so far.
Owen Evans looking to me like a real nuisance to play against, but Donaldson taking a quick throw on that left-hand side. It's out to Pitblado, who looks to find the run of Donaldson. It's just slightly overhit for a goal kick on that left-hand side. Yeah, quite an interesting, I don't know how many kind of five at the backs you kind of see at this level, but an interesting formation that seems to be working very well for Chippenham Town at the moment.
They've definitely got good width with Johnson, as we've mentioned, and yeah, the holding midfielders tend to join the wide players in order to provide support and offer that layoff to deliver a ball in the box.
Will Henry standing over this goal kick now. Just playing it out to the left-hand side. Ravan can get under it. That looked like a very late challenge from number 9, McClure, and it will be a free kick. McClure is kicking that ball away.
I'll tell you what, Laura, I know there's a bit of rugby going down at Twickenham, but no place for it here at the Beverly. Matt McClure just clattered Revan there.
It's almost given Fernandez was given a yellow card. I'd almost looked to the referee to look to his pocket there, but nothing awarded. And Dubois will look to play it long out to this right-hand side to find Ravan, and Gray can get onto the resulting header. Can't quite get past Amity Holloway, as Hampton and Richmond have kind of struggled to do all game, but it will be a throw-in on this right-hand side, and it will be Gray to take. He's just thrown it to Ravan for Ravan to take. Ravan just looking for options now. Finds Bloomfield on the byline, and Jake Gray will look to swing this one in, trying to find Seymour, headed away, but Deadfield picks this one up. Pitblado out to Gray on the right-hand side once more, and it's up to Ravan, who can look to try and beat Johnson, and just makes him sit down momentarily there, Ravan, with a quick switch back. Now he's looking for options still on this right-hand side. All the way back out to Fernandez, who remains right next to the dugout. And Owen Evan gets his foot in, but it will be a throw-in that Fernandez takes quickly. Finds Bloomfield on the edge of the box on the right-hand side. Hampton and Richmond just struggling to get out of this right-hand corner at the moment. Ravan trying to play the cross in, finds Seymour. Seymour can't quite get that one under control. It comes back out to Fernandez, who finds Brown. Brown turns away from pressure well. Back out to this right-hand side where Gray has got more space than before. Gets the cross in, but it looks a bit too long and overhit just off that far side. Nice bit of possession in that right-hand side, but struggling to get out there.
Ravan getting his own back on Tyreek Johnson with a little bit of skill, making Johnson fall for that one. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. And Bailey Brown with a great turn away from two midfielders to spread it back out to the right as well. But needs to be picked up a notch by Hampton Richmond here.
Absolutely, and it will be a goal kick here that Will Henry will play short into that midfield for Will King. Just combining with McClure and looking to find Johnson. Ravan with a good bit of positioning there just to trick Johnson into the way he was going to turn. Plays it back to Dubois. He plays it long, trying to find Gray. Gray misses that header, and Amity Holloway comes away with the ball again. A throw-in for him. And what a performance he's put on so far. It's back into that midfield with number 12, Tom Mayhew. He spreads play out to that right-hand side. Donaldson looking to accompany there, and Meehee will take this over the halfway line with a long ball looking for Owen Evans, but Fernandez just nods that away, and Dreyer will clear that one. Deadfield looking to get on the end of it. It's Bloomfield in the end, and he's fouled by number 20, Will King. Deadfield trying to find Seymour. Ellison cuts that one out. Amity Holloway playing it all the way back to Will Henry here. And he can just take a bit of time before the pressure of Bloomfield forces him to commit to a long ball forward to that right-hand side, but it will be a throw-in to Chippenham Town after Pip Blardo clears that one.
Hampton Richmond will need to show a will to come from behind a goal down. Obviously, I believe in their last 5 games they've scored first 4 times, so they're not necessarily used to being in this situation in the last couple of months.
Certainly look like they've turned it back on, and Hampton and Richmond potentially with the better share of chances in the past few minutes, but certainly by no means an uneven contest here. Headed forward by Ravan, it will be a throw-in to Chippenham Town deep in their own half on that left-hand side. And once more it'll be Amity Holloway to take this one. Amity Holloway just thrown forward, but Brown there first to it, and another throw-in.
Just a few minutes left till half-time now as well, Laura.
And Hampton and Richmond were certainly looking to get a goal back, and they're pressing high here. Deadfield pressing in that box with Bloomfield and Seymour either side of Henry. Henry forced into the clearance, and Fernandez tries to bring this one down first, gets it to Ravan, and Deadfield brought down in the midfield. Brown wins it back, and Seymour looking to get on the end of it, but it will be a free kick and a potential, as you said, dying minutes of this half, a potential to get one back here. About level with the centre circle, maybe a couple of metres forward out towards the right-hand side, but still fairly central. Jake Gray will stand over this. McClure proving the only man in a one-man wall. The rest of the players lining the edge of the box. Chippenham Town with all men back. Jake Gray with a single arm raised. Plays it forward out to that left-hand side of the box, trying to find Bloomfield. Headed away, but Brown is in pursuit. It will be a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond that Deadfield will look to take quickly into Pip Blardo. And Pip Blardo just winning a second throw-in there. He'll take that one. Edging towards the corner flag here. Level with the box. Donaldson out to Pip Blardo. Back into Donaldson. Donaldson will try and find Pip Blardo once more, but that one's cut out, and Brown has it, flicks it into the box for Seymour to chase, but hoofed away by Haynes. And Fernandez will pick this one up under pressure from McClure, and Ravan loses possession there, but quickly wins it back from Johnson, and Gray is on this right-hand side in acres of space now. Can he find the cross? He does, and Seymour's there, but it's just cut out by Ellison. And Fernandez will head back into Ravan. He's got options in Deadfield, who he opts for, and Deadfield in the centre of midfield, finding Donaldson once more just outside that box. Donaldson goes down, appeals for the foul, gets waved on by the referee, and now Chippenham Town will look to break through Fassenmaid out on that right-hand side. And he's jinxing away from a few players, but Bloomfield emerges with it, tripped by Meehee, and it will be another free kick to Hampton and Richmond and another yellow card for Chippenham Town.
I think Chippenham have just been committing a few too many of them cynical fouls now, so the referees had to go in the book. And yet again, it was Bloomfield showing that willingness to win the ball back, skip away from a man. Again,
Hampton and Richmond in the dying minutes of this half with a chance to equalise, a chance to bring things level. Jake Gray out on that left-hand side. This one slightly further back than before. Ravan remains back. Jake Gray strike this towards the right-hand side of the box, looking for Fernandez. Fernandez heads down. Deadfield can strike, but it goes over the bar. Just not managing to get the dip on that one.
Yeah, there was a Chippenham player right on his shoulder there, affecting his time and space for that shot.
Goal kick then for Chippenham Town. Haynes will play it back to Henry, and Henry goes long trying to find Johnson, but Ravan gets there first, finds Seymour on the edge of the box. He heads it out to Jake Gray on the right hand side now, finding Seymour again on this right hand side of the box. Gray will play the cross in, but it's blocked by Johnson. It's out for a corner. Hampton and Richmond really building up some pressure in the end of this half.
Yeah, with probably only seconds left now of the half. Got a chance from a corner.
Steadfield, he's got Gray as an option short. Single hand raised in the air, looks to play it into the box. Pitblado also offering his services out to that far post. Fernandez heading it down, and it's given as a goal kick. There were appeals for another corner, but that could be the end of Hampton and Richmond's goal scoring chances in this half. Will Henry will take a slow walk back to take this goal kick, and this one, I think, will certainly be going long.
I think I may have just seen the referee indicate there's another 3 minutes to go. Obviously, there was a big stoppage with Fernandez taking a blow to the crown jewels earlier.
Indeed, I think you might be right, as number 3 does come up on that board. Alan Julian taking up his new role there, holding the ball up. And it's back out to this left-hand side, but Bloomfield wins it back in the centre of the pitch. Donaldson looks to knock that one on, and he's out on this left-hand side with space. He's got Pitblado on the overlap. Pitblado finding that room, but it's just drilled out there by Luke Spokes. And I think it might have come out, in fact, off Pitblado. There'll be a throw in here. That will be taken by Haynes out on that right-hand side, level with their own box for Chippenham Town. Haynes will look to throw this one long, almost meets the halfway line, and Drea's first up to head that one. Bloomfield under the second header, and Donaldson will look to clip that one forward. It just goes out on the left-hand side of Hampton and Richmond, and out for a throw-in that Seymour will retrieve. Chippenham Town just looking to sustain this lead into the half. Haynes with the long throw again. He's beaten the halfway line this time, and Pitblado heads forward. Out to Deadfield in the middle, and Gray will try to play in Seymour, but it's Ellison's head that meets it first, and he just nods it back to Will Henry, who will take his time picking this one up under pressure from Seymour.
A few frustrated faces there for Hampton Richmond as that chance went astray. But hopefully they can come out better in that second half.
And Ellison just picking this one up in the defence, nods it out to Haynes, and Haynes will look to play it long, trying to find Fassenmaid. Drea in chase here, and Fernandez will get to it first, and forced into a hasty clearance there. It's out for a corner, and potentially a chance for Chippenham to get another one before the break.
Fassenmaid consistently shown his ability to hold off defenders and, you know, receive the ball to feet, bring others into play.
So Luke Spokes to take this one from the right-hand side. Played in, out to that far post. Fassenmaid will look onto the end of it. Ellison thought that Fassenmaid was somewhere else, but Fassenmaid does have possession now. Johnson trying to pick this one up. Sends it all the way back, and Jake Gray is in pursuit. Is forced out, and that pressure from Gray forces the clearance out towards this right-hand side for Hampton and Richmond, and they will have a throw in their own half. Ravan just throwing that over, and the whistle does go full half-time. 1-0 to Chippenham Town. Goal from Owen Evans. Just finding the back of the net after some dangerous play from Johnson. And currently Hampton and Richmond are 1 goal down, but what are the scores looking like in the rest of the league? Where does that leave Hampton and Richmond?
And across the league we have Braintree 0, Slough 0. Of course, a fellow playoff hopeful. Averley, also a playoff hopeful, drawing 0-0 with Weymouth. Eastbourne 1-0 up to Hemel Hempstead, who have received a red card. Hampton Richmond here, of course, 1-0 down to Chippenham. Hampton Waterlooville have overturned a 1-0 deficit and they're currently 2-1 up against Tonbridge at half-time. Maidstone have received a red card as after going 1-0 down. Big game there in playoff contention. Torquay 0, Dartford 0, Worthing 0, Taunton 1, and Yeovil 0, Welling 1. So as it stands, Hampton and Richmond have dropped down to 6th place below St Albans. But of course, Worthing taking a loss as it stands. But we'll be hoping to see Hampton and Richmond with 3 points here. Could go up to as high as 4th if the results remain as they are.
We certainly will be hoping for that 3 points, but we're going to take a break now and join us in the second half to see if the Beavers can resurrect and find a way to take the win here today. Hello and welcome back to this second half of action between Hampton and Richmond and Chippenham Town here at the Beverley. Hampton and Richmond are currently 1-0 down following an early-ish goal from Tom Owen Evans. They'll be looking to get back into a leading position in this second half, and we are underway already. Hampton and Richmond with a long ball over the top into Deadfield in the midfield, and Jake Gray now just winning that one. Pitblado surging in, and Gray again emerging with the ball. Dreyer now sending this one forward to Bloomfield, who knocks it back for Brown. His pass is cut out, and Gray is in pursuit now. Fernandez will pick this one up just inside the Hampton and Richmond half. Another blazing start from the Hampton and Richmond in white here. And it's Ravan out on the right-hand side. This time Hampton and Richmond will be going from right to left as we watch on. And Chippenham Town from left to right. Dreyer in possession at the halfway line, being hassled by Fassenmaid here. Plays out to Pitblado on this left-hand side, up to Seymour. And Seymour looked to take that one down, just loses out in possession to Mayhew, who plays it forward to Fassenmaid. Up to McClure, but he can't quite get control of that one, and it's all the way back out to Desbois now, who will look to play this one long out to the left-hand side, looking for Bloomfield, who heads it on, not quite into the path of Donaldson, and Haynes can clear that one. Fernandez is under it, and Deadfield will head this on. Seymour with the ball at his feet here, flicks it up. Donaldson will try and win it, but it's number 14, Spokes, who gets there first. And Pitblado launches that one clear. Bit of a chaotic start to this second half, would you say, Eduardo?
Nothing like the first half there, a bit of scrappiness to start. But as long as Hampton and Richmond are exerting their will a bit more, that's what Mel Gwinnett will be after, and I'm sure what he would have told his men at half-time.
It's that man, Amity Holloway, with the throw-in out on the left-hand side for Chippenham Town, but we've won it back quickly as Seymour will shoot, and it's just wide and over, and just not at goal really, that one. Slightly wayward shot from Seymour.
Chippenham caught out playing from the back there and could have been punished, but yeah, Seymour off the weaker foot, to be fair, goes way over in the end.
It's Will Henry with the goal kick up to McClure, and it's Amity Holloway who's in support just on that halfway line on the left-hand side for Chippenham Town. Dreyer will surge forward to play this into Donaldson, and Donaldson's looking for Seymour, but in the end it will be Gray who picks this one up on the right-hand side. Can he catch it? It's just over hit and off that back line. And it will be a goal kick to Chippenham Town.
Seymour tries to tell Donaldson otherwise, but for me it was a great find from Donaldson. I think it was the right ball, just in the end the execution didn't quite pan off, as Jake Gray would have had miles of space to get a shot off on goal.
And again, played short from Chippenham Town, and this time Donaldson wins it back, and can Seymour get on the end of this? Bloomfield's there, there's protests for a free kick, it's right on the edge of the box, but it is given by the referee.
Yeah, the Chippenham defender tried to mount Bloomfield there, and he did win the header, but just got a bit too aggressive using his shoulders to piggyback off, so it's going to be a very dangerous free kick here, Laura.
Indeed, it's just off to the side of that semicircle on the left-hand side for Hampton and Richmond. Gray and Deadfield stood over it at the minute. It was quite a funny reaction there from Bloomfield, just stood there with his arms out, asking the question.
A goal at this point would be big time for Hampton and Richmond to get themselves back on track for 3 points here.
Two players stood over it who are certainly very good from a dead ball situation. A wall of 4. And it's Deadfield who stepped back. Gray to the right. And Gray will strike it, whips it round. It is on target, but it's saved well by Will Henry. Not quite near that corner.
It was a good strike, though, from Jake Gray. I mean, you love to see that they actually hit the target from that range, because that's what should be happening. And in the end, he did test the keeper, unlucky not to have palmed it into a more dangerous area.
Here's a throw-in for Hampton and Richmond, and We've subsequently won the corner with a bit of interplay between Gray and Bloomfield out on that right-hand side. The corner to be taken by Sam Deadfield. Gray once more in support, but the corner is in towards that near post, but it's caught by Will Henry in the end, and will Chippenham look to play it out from the back again.
Henry will be happy with that sequence there. Good save and then claimed from the corner.
And it is played short out to this right-hand side for Chippenham Town, but it's won back with the second long ball, and Pip Blardo will look to play it long. Blocked by the captain, McClure, out for a throw-in on the left-hand side for Hampton and Richmond. And Bloomfield's challenging. Pip Blardo takes that one, challenged by McClure, and Pip Blardo down, holding his upper leg. And Deadfield still plays on. Dreyer just going to collect that one. Pip Blardo's still down, and Dreyer hoofs this one forward to where Pip Blardo might have been. Pip Blardo back on his feet though now, and McClure in possession, played into Mehew in the centre, but won back really well by Gray. Mehew was in a dangerous position. Chippenham Town have got possession back, and McClure just holding Brown back there very blatantly, and I think the referee will be reaching into his pocket to award McClure a yellow card there. So I think the third yellow card for Chippenham Town here today.
For me, McClure could have been booked for that rugby type challenge earlier, so about time he probably got in the books. But yeah, for me it was also a foul on Pip Blardo down here. The referee gives one in the end.
Certainly, and it wouldn't have been the one that Hampton and Richmond might have chosen, but they are in possession now, and Fernandez lost this one forward to Seymour on that right-hand side, and he's challenging with Amity Holloway. And it's Ellison who in the end plays that one long, and Pip Blardo will collect, but under pressure from Fastenmaid. And Desbois goes all the way back now, and Dreyer comes away with the ball from defence, and Pip Blardo now on this left-hand side into Bloomfield in the centre. He switches play all the way out to Ravan on that right-hand side. He's got Gray in support. Ravan cutting infield, looking to take the shot low. It's blocked, but Donaldson was looking to get onto it. Now it's out to Fernandez, who's also on this right-hand side. He'll look to play the cross into that back post, finds Bloomfield, and it's a goal for Hampton and Richmond. It's that man, Mason Bloomfield, with his 11th goal of the season in the league, and Hampton and Richmond are back on level terms.
That's just what Mel Gwinnett ordered. 7 minutes into the second half, and we're back on level terms. Fernandez, by the way, what a delivery.
I was going to say, not someone you might be expecting to put it on a plate for Bloomfield, but Fernandez with a lovely cross to that back post, and you wouldn't want anyone else there but Bloomfield to finish. And Chippenham Town will look to get us back underway quickly. It's Hampton and Richmond 1, Chippenham Town 1, and we're very much back in the game here at the Beverley. It's number 14 here, Luke Spokes, out on this right-hand side for Chippenham Town. Pip Blardo with the interception. And Hampton and Richmond perhaps galvanised here. Dreyer back in defence. Hampton and Richmond now will go in search of a winner. Desbois playing it out to that right-hand side for Ravan to head on that halfway line. Seymour putting pressure on Amity Holloway now. And Amity Holloway just exchanging pass nicely with Will King. Again, Chippenham Town once more relying on their defence play out from the back, and there Deadfield's won it back. Donaldson can't quite get on the end of it, and again Chippenham Town will break down the middle. It's McClure looking to play Johnson in, who's found space once more like he did in the first half on that left-hand side, and he gets the cross in, but it's just in front of Fastenmaid, and he can't quite get on the end of that. But once more, when you let them have space down that left, it's looking dangerous.
It was a nicely put together counter-attacking move, and you can trust Tyreek Johnson to put in a dangerous delivery. He's done it again there, and it wasn't far from Craig Fastenmaid there. But yeah, just back to Bloomfield. I think other than the goal, he's just really been putting a shift in today, and I think he's rewarded his decision to come back in the starting lineup. He's getting back and putting in defensive shifts as well as being a goal for it. So love to see it from Bloomfield.
Desbois will take a goal kick here. 2 hands raised in the air. This one's going towards the left of the pitch. aiming once more for Bloomfield, who's just been caught in a challenge there. He was down as it came up, and Gray will get under this one. Hoof it almost directly up. Deadfield's under it, but it goes to Mayhew, who's just inside that centre circle. And Mayhew looks to find Johnson out on that left-hand side. And it's back into Will King on that halfway line. Out to Amity Holloway and into Ellison to play it forward to the right-hand side where Spokes can get forward on the edge of the box. Looks to whip one in, but it's caught well by Desbois. In the end, it was straight at the goalkeeper, but he looked like he'd found space to shoot there.
It was a good strike from Spokes, cutting in, but also Desbois will be hard to beat from that range. And I just wanted to quickly update that Hampton and Richmond move back up to 5th with that equalising goal there, with Braintree still drawing 0-0 at the minute. And St Albans.
Bloomfield's just flicks it over, and Seymour might be in, but he just drags that one wide, and it was offside in the end. Apologies for the slight interruption there.
All good, yeah, and St Albans still winning 1-0 at Maidstone, who are down to 10 men.
And yeah, it looked like it could have been a good chance, but there will be a substitution here for Hampton and Richmond as Gibson Hammond comes on to replace Rory Donaldson.
Gibson Hammond was a huge impact from the bench on Tuesday. Had the ingenuity to take the quick free kick that led to the goal, so I'm sure he'll be looking to build on that performance.
Will Henry here standing over this one. He's going to go long this time from the free kick off the subsequent offside. And Dreyer winning the header. Bloomfield just on this one, and it will be a free kick there all the way back for a bit of contact on Dreyer, and Desbois will come forward just outside his box on this left-hand side to take this one. Desbois just asking his players to get a little bit further forward. Plays it long, trying to find Bloomfield once more. It's Haynes that gets there first, and Dreyer heads forward. Back to Dreyer. He's being pushed by McClure, but it's out to Ravan. You can charge forward in space on the right-hand side. Cuts back to play it into Fernandez on the centre circle. Into Deadfield, who's there in support. Fernandez now. Just looking for options under pressure here from Fasten Maid. And Fernandez can play it into Gibson Hammond on the halfway line. He plays it back out to Fernandez, who has more space now. Out to Gray on that right-hand side. Gray has Ravan on the overlap, and Ravan can just cut in field to Brown, who shields it well, and Deadfield plays it into Bloomfield on the edge of the box. And it's a really nice worked move by Hampton and Richmond, but the pass from Bloomfield slightly mishit and can't quite find Ravan on that right-hand side. Referee will speak to Ellison here.
It's unlucky from Bloomfield, who did well to hold up his defender there, but much more promising from Hampton Richmond, stringing passes together, moving forward with men in support. Good work.
A throw in now for Chippenham Town on their left-hand side. Be Amity Holloway to take this one. A nice bit of skill by King, and it's Owen Evans who will thread this across to the left-hand side for Spokes to get forward. Combines with Mayhew, but Piblado does well to just force that one out for a throw-in to Chippenham Town. Still inside their own half, about level with the dugout on this right-hand side. A long throw into Owen Evans, who just tries to put it into the path of McClure. Fernandez is first to cut it out to get it away from Fasten May, but it's put back in towards Owen Evans, and Piblado will come away with this one. It's all a bit messy in the middle, but Mayhew with a nice bit of skill. Brown gets the better of him in the end. Out to Amity Holloway on the halfway line. Ellison into his own half, and Luke Haynes will look to play this forward down the right-hand side. Piblado gets there first, and it's out for another throw-in to Chippenham Town. Chippenham Town with less chances this half. Do you think Hampton and Richmond have got on top of their attacking threat a little bit?
I think they've definitely come out from the half and looked to be on the front foot. obviously Chippenham did have that nice counter-attacking move, and that will always be a danger to keep in mind. But so far so good from Mel Gwinnett's men.
It's another long throw from Haynes, but Pitblado cuts that one out first. Seymour gets it. It's a late challenge from Haynes, and it will be a free kick and a 4th yellow card for Chippenham Town. This time, Luke Haynes will be the one entering the book for a late challenge on Ben Seymour. Those quick feet that we have known to love from Ben Seymour, just forcing that foul, and it'll be Desbois up to take this one. Far out on the left-hand side, about in the centre of the half. Looking for options. Aims for the run of Seymour. It's Haynes with the header. Mayhew collects this on the edge of the box, cleared by Spokes up to the halfway line, where Dreyer will head it back into the mix, trying to find Bloomfield. This time Seymour comes for it, but it is flagged for offside, and Seymour not happy with that decision. Ellison standing over this one with Henry also ready to take. Potentially Chippenham Town just stopping the kind of playing out from the back and opting for the longer ball, but McClure wasn't happy with that one. Dreyer will force this one forward and sees it over the halfway line, where Bloomfield's there to hold it up for Gibson Hammond. And Gibson Hammond looks like he's in behind on this left-hand side. He's in a bit of a tussle with Haynes, and in the end, the foul goes against Gibson Hammond. Looked initially like Haynes was holding Gibson Hammond back, but I think he got slightly frustrated and went a bit too far the other way, would you say?
Haynes has got to be careful, obviously. He just picked up the booking, and yeah, for me, he was holding back Gibson Hammond now. Had him on pace, but yeah, in the end, Gibson Hammond just does it a bit more obvious to the referee and gets penalised.
And it will be Haynes who comes up to take this free kick. On the right-hand side for Chippenham Town, it's Mayhew who comes back out to collect it, passes it back into Ellison in the defence, and he plays it out to Amity Holloway on that left-hand side. Into the middle for Will King, who tries to find Johnson out on the left-hand side once more. Nice little interplay down the left, just in and out to work it up that wing. But in the end, looks like Hampton and Richmond had won that back, but I think it was ruled for a foul by Ben Seymour, and Chippenham Town have another free kick just inside their own half. Mayhew spraying it out to this right-hand side for Haynes. He'll look to play it cross-field, but slips, and Deadfield can collect that one. Back out to Dreyer, and out to Pitblado on this left-hand side. Just playing it back into Dreyer, and Hampton and Richmond happy to keep it in and around their defence at the moment. Pitblado carrying it over the halfway line with space to run into on this left-hand side. He's got Gibson Hammond in support, uses him now, offers on the overlap, but Gibson Hammond cuts inside to Brown. Brown back out to Dreyer, and Dreyer playing it into Deadfield. Nice little link up in and around the middle for Hampton and Richmond, just happy to pass and wait for the opportunities to come.
All 11 men behind the ball for Chippenham at the moment.
And Pitblado trying to find that ball into the box for Seymour. Ellison comes away with it, but Seymour still pressuring and is forced the throw in here from a clearance from Ellison. Be Pitblado to take this one on the left-hand side. And it looks like Will Henry has gone down in the goal mouth for Chippenham Town. Medical assistance will be called on. Whether this is tactical or a bit of a actual injury here, but what's going on in the rest of the league?
Elsewhere, Laura, Braintree have taken the lead 1-0 now, moving into fourth, and St Albans have had a second, really rubbing it in for Maidstone, who of course are down to 10 men and now 2-0 down as well.
It's not the result we'd want to hear about Braintree, just ahead of us in the league, but of course Hampton and Richmond now very much back in this game. The score's tied at 1-1. There's a bit of commotion down here in the dugout. I think all seems a bit friendly, and Will Henry appears to be back on his feet, and Hampton and Richmond ready to take the throw on this left-hand side. Also seems there will be a substitution for the visitors, but it's not happened because Pip Blado has taken the throw in. He's just megs the player on the left-hand side, sends it in, and it's just skied. I'm not sure who got to it first, but it's looped up into the air. It's still out on this left-hand side, but finally hoofed clear by a Chippenham Town man, and Fernandez is under pressure from Fassenmaid. Dreyer forced to get in on this one, and Mayhew just managing to cause a bit of pressure, but Dreyer wins the throw-in in the end. It will now, the substitution will now happen for the visitors. The man with the captain's armband, Matt McClure, will exit the field and will be replaced by Kane Bradbury.
Yeah, the top scorer making way there, Laura McClure, but Bradbury 6 goals in the league himself. He's a bit of a goal threat.
Looking for a change of fortunes up front in the second half, Chippenham Town. I think McClure's certainly been slightly absent in this game. And Pip Blado will take the throw now on this left-hand side. Tries to find Bloomfield. And it's up for another throw-in, but this time it will go the way of Chippenham Town, and they will have it on their right-hand side. And be a throw on the right-hand side for Haynes, who has taken the captain's armband. And Fernandez tries to get this one. And it's out to Johnson on the left-hand side, who sends in another good cross, but Pip Blado heads it clear. And headed forward by number 20, King. And it's a bit of a scrap on the edge of the box, but Gray emerges with it to send it forward down that right-hand side where Seymour can run onto it, but it is out for a throw-in that Ellison will take quickly to his keeper, Henry. And Henry out to Haynes on this right-hand side. Just a substitute Bradbury in action, and it's played forward to Mayhew on this right, and he has space to cross it. Tries to find Johnson at that back post. Slightly late arriving, but he has a chance to cross again. Fernandez first to that cross, and it's out to King, who will collect on that left-hand side with Johnson looking to attack Ravan. Gets the cross in again. Fernandez first to meet it again, and out for a throw-in. And a slight ease of pressure on Hampton and Richmond there.
Johnson really doesn't mess about when it comes to that wing play. Just takes one couple of touches and then whips in a dangerous delivery. And I've got to say, Mayhew as well has been a good floating presence for Chippenham. Got some creativity as well behind his play also.
Ellison on the ball now from that throw-in, all the way out to this right-hand side for Haynes, who will play it down to Spokes. And Gibson Hammond challenging there, but it's given away a throw-in, which Spokes will take to Mayhew, trying to create something with Bradbury here, and it will be a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond on their left-hand side, though.
Pip Blado going to chase the ball. He might have hoped someone tapped in his cross down there 5 minutes or so ago when he nutmegged someone. That would have been a good highlight reel for him.
Absolutely. Pip Blado with the throw-in up to the halfway line. Bloomfield's on it. Brown sends it forward, but can't quite find Seymour. And a bit of contact there from on Haynes, but no foul given. And Ellison will play this out to that left-hand side, with Johnson's all the way back in his own half to collect that one. Out to Henry. He will play this all the way back out to the right-hand side. And, Chippenham just happy to switch sides to find that space, and Spokes just turning away from the challenge from Gibson Hammond. And it's back with Haynes and into the Chippenham Town defensive line.
As we've just passed the halfway mark for the second half, Chippenham sees the momentum back again after a good Hampton-Richmond start.
And it's out to Johnson on that left-hand side. He will attack Ravan, slips on the ball. Can he recover it? He manages to, and he gets it out to King. Trying to find Bradbury, who will shoot. It's blocked, and Ravan just collecting that one. Fernandez will see it clear, and it's gone off that far side for a throw-in the way of Chippenham Town. Just inside the Hampton and Richmond half on that left-hand side. Certainly feels like Chippenham Town are gaining a bit of momentum here. Amity Holloway with the throw. Looking for options, finds Bradbury. Bradbury will play it on to Haynes, who will run onto it on this right-hand side, finds Spokes. Spokes plays it infield to Mayhew, quick 1-2, but Piblado is wise to it. And Spokes will collect in the corner. Back out to Mayhew on the edge of the box, Bradbury to play it in, trying to find that far post, and Johnson's on it, but Desbois gets down to it superbly. Johnson not quite able to find the power there when he was at full stretch, but certainly another dangerous chance.
What a great save from Desbois. It was Johnson who's usually whipping in the deliveries on the end of that one, and he was just a few yards out, so really should have gone in, but
Now sorry.
Go ahead.
No, now Hampton and Richmond can get on the attack. It was just cut out by Ellison, but Brown has won it back. His pass is slightly wayward, and Gibson Hammond can't quite get on the end of that one. Certainly looking a bit more end-to-end in this period of the match. It does sometimes feel, I think, in the Hampton and Richmond midfield, those passes aren't quite connecting or finding their player as much in this match.
Possibly was the biggest chance of the half so far, I'd say, that Johnson chance there.
Yeah, certainly for Chippenham Town, but Jake Gray has just won it back in a really dangerous position. Plays it back to Bloomfield, it's straight on goal, and he's just headed the rebound over. That looked like almost a certain goal for Bloomfield.
Chippenham lose it in a dangerous area, and he had quite a lot of goal to aim for there, Bloomfield. Time, but the keeper spread himself well. And what a big save, because Bloomfield, we know he's in fine form. 2 goals in his last 2 now, and he was after the 3rd.
You certainly think he should have had his 3rd there. It looked like that ball was potentially just behind his path, forced to play it directly onto the keeper, and then couldn't quite get over that rebound. But we're back underway, and the goal kick's gone long. Dreher's down, Fernandez has headed it forward, up to Bloomfield. Brown will lift this one, trying to find Gibson Hammond, but Seymour's pressuring Haynes here in the right-hand corner for Chippenham Town, and Haynes just forcing that throw-in off Seymour. I think there might be a change here, or certainly the linesman wants to have a word with the referee. See if we can listen into this one. Will be a yellow card awarded to the Hampton and Richmond bench there. Just a slight note to the referee.
There's a bit of argy-bargy between the 2 benches down here.
And just looking to get play back underway down this right-hand side. It's a long throw from Haynes, and Fassenmaid will get on the end of it. Deadfield does well to make the challenge, and Fernandez will clear. It's Johnson who's trying to get under it. Amity Holloway under it in the end, and will be a throw-in for Chippenham Town on their left-hand side, inside their own half. Throw taken quickly. Ravan wins it, but it's into the midfield where Bradbury will look to find some space. Brown, in the end, winning the challenge, and he plays it out to
Superb.
Jake Gray. Really good work out on that right-hand side, and Bloomfield will have it now, wins the corner. Oh, it's gone out for a goal kick according to the linesman. To me, that looked like a corner, but really good work again by Hampton and Richmond.
Bailey Brown holding off 1-2 men there to thread the ball and just get that momentum going again for Hampton and Richmond. They're very much eager in their press now, catching Chippenham defenders on the ball, and if they lose it in them dangerous areas, we see them big chances, as we did with Bloomfield not long ago.
It's Will Henry. Chippenham Town seem to have got rid of their playing out from the back methods, and Dreher will collect this one. Shots from handball from the Chippenham bench. Didn't see much myself. And Brown will play this into Deadfield, who play it long, a curling ball. Ellison there, but Bloomfield charging him down, and Ellison forced to shield that one off the back line. Does well in the end under the pressure from Bloomfield, and it'll be another goal kick to Hampton and Richmond. Chippenham Town manager not very impressed with that decision for sure.
It's going to be another booking on the sidelines here.
Yeah, it's a 5th yellow card for Chippenham Town, but this time to the manager Gary Horgan, I think.
think the referee's being reasonable, to be honest with you. There is a few out-of-hand comments going on.
There's a bit of argy-bargy between the two benches now. Hampton and Richmond bench potentially taking a bit of an advantage of the fact that the opposition manager's slightly riled up there. But play is back underway, and Haynes just heading that one forward. Ben Seymour is down, and Gray will look to get under it. Johnson comes away with it on that left-hand side, and Ravan is in chase, but Fernandez will collect it first. Charged down by Johnson, but it will be a Hampton and Richmond throw-in on that far side. And Dreyer will collect the throw and plays it back into Desbois. Finds Deadfield in the middle, back out to Dreyer. And Fernandez out on that left-hand side, right-hand side with Ravan further up. Dreyer will look to play it long to find Gray. Flicks it on. Can he find Seymour? Ellison Head meets it first, but it is out for a throw-in for Ravan on that right-hand side. Ravan back to Deadfield. Deadfield looking to play it back in to Dreyer, and Dreyer will play it out to Pitblado on the left-hand side. Back into Dreyer. Dreyer will just look to... No pressure on him at the moment. You just find the right pass. In the end, plays it across to Fernandez along that halfway line, and Fernandez will carry it forward to Gray on that right-hand side. Fernandez curling it into the box. Seymour with a shove from behind. Appeals for a penalty, but it's not given. Gray still has it on the right-hand side. Fernandez now combining with Gray, and Gray will look to cut inside. Finds Seymour in the box. Seymour lets it roll across his body, but he can't quite get on the end of that one, and it is in the end given as a foul for Chippenham Town.
A couple of Fernandez deliveries there, and that's how we saw the goal come. And to be honest, we've seen that Seymour foul given before for a penalty, barge from the back.
Certainly looked like it wouldn't have been surprising if it had been given. There will be another substitution, but while that happens, do you want to update us on some of the other developments?
Yeah, so we've had an equaliser in the Braintree game now. 1-1, which keeps them in fourth, currently above Hampton and Richmond. And St Albans have conceded to 10-men Maidstone. Maybe there could be a comeback there, but Hampton and Richmond remain in fifth there. And we'll keep you updated on them results as they come in.
And it's Owen Evans, the goal scorer for Chippenham Town, who will depart the field, and Ed Williams, who will enter, one of the two Williams on the bench.
And just to update Worthing as well, 3-0 down at the moment, another team in contention.
Goal kick's taken long by Chippenham. Bloomfield has it, loses possession. Bradbury slips on the side, and Pitblado can take advantage of that. Plays it long, trying to find Seymour. Ellison forced to make the clearance, and Gibson Hammond will look to take the throw quickly. No one available, and it'll be Pitblado who will take. Throws it into Bloomfield, and Bloomfield will turn back out to Brown. Brown to Dreyer, who sat on that halfway line here. Out to Fernandez on that centre circle.
Around 10 minutes now to get that winning goal for Hampton Richmond.
Certainly should be incentivised by that Braintree result if they can take advantage of that. Haynes went down there, but it will be a free kick to Hampton and Richmond. Haynes just falling on top of the ball so that Bloomfield couldn't get to it, and it's in a dangerous position.
We saw Jake Gray test the keeper from a similar range before. Can he get it a bit further into them corners this time and get himself on the score sheet?
This one's slightly more central, almost dead centre, just outside that semicircle on the edge of the box. And once more it's Deadfield and Gray in the offing to take. Referee just sorting the wall out here.
We did question whether Chippenham will be able to get up for this game, but we've certainly seen that friendly National League South rivalry here today.
Absolutely.
So it'll be extra satisfying for Hampton and Richmond to score from this free kick.
Well, they delivered late on Tuesday. They know they have it in them. Looks like it's Deadfield who will take it, strikes it. Oh, it was so close, but just over that bar. Couldn't quite get it to dip underneath the crossbar, but not a bad attempt.
Great effort from Deadfield. It was going towards that top corner, just a bit too much on it in the end. But that's how you've got to beat the keeper from that distance, getting it right in those corners.
It's with Henry, looking to play it out from the back again. Potential for a mistake and a turnover here for Hampton and Richmond. Deadfield committing himself there, but Haynes just managed to get it away, and this time Amity Holloway has found space on the left-hand side. Plays it up to Johnson, but Ravan is there to meet him. Johnson not quite having the same joy, but still a threat on that left-hand side, and he'll play the cross in. It's just over, and that was looking slightly worrying for a moment, but Dubois watched that one over, and no real threat in the end to Hampton and Richmond.
Ravan is often isolated one-on-one, having to defend Johnson. He's done well that time.
Dubois will take the goal kick here. Players heading over to this left-hand side to receive around the halfway line. 2 hands in the air from the Hampton and Richmond goalkeeper. Plays it long, trying to find Bloomfield. Amity Holloway was up, he's now down, and a long ball forward is headed away by Fernandez. Deadfield under that one, and Amity Holloway remains down. The ball won back, and the play is eventually stopped as Amity Holloway remains down and unmoving on the turf. No medical assistance is being asked though, he just is remaining down for now. How do you feel the balance of this half has gone then? Hampton and Richmond potentially a bit more on top?
Of course, Laura, they came out firing, got that goal within 10 minutes through Bloomfield. This is the most important 10 minutes now, that last 10 minutes, and try and push them for that winner, because like you said, with the results around, wins are just simply what's needed to propel their playoff push. So, you know, like you said, they've got that late winner on Tuesday, they've got it in them, and they'll be looking for another one here. It's definitely been a competitive fixture, and Chippenham aren't going to go away easily, so it's going to take some hard work going into this last 10.
For sure. Jake Gray stands over the free kick just inside the centre circle, but also inside the Chippenham half. Plays it long out towards that far post. There's a bit of a mess. No one really knows where the ball is. Will Henry certainly didn't claim it. In the end, Ellison finds it and rolls it out to that far right-hand side of the Hampton and Richmond attack for a throw-in that Deadfield currently is under. Drops it for Ivan to take though.
Don't know what to make of Henry. He's had a few good saves, but a few dodgy moments as well.
Yeah, and it's played back out to Fernandez on that right-hand side. Fasamaid makes the block, and it's another throw-in that Ravan will take. This time he's looking for Bloomfield in the box, and Bloomfield controls that one well. Plays it down to Brown. Gray with the cross-in. Back out to Ravan on the edge of the box. And Gray under it. Curled in by Fernandez once more. This time Bloomfield can't get on the end of it. It's Amity Holloway who gets it away. Andrea will chase to the halfway line. Plays it all the way back out to Dubois, and Hampton and Richmond will have to build again. Into Fernandez on that right-hand side of the halfway line. Nice bit of skill there to just control it out of the reach of Johnson. And Gray wins a throw-in on that right-hand side. Inside the Chippenham Town half. Momentum building here for the Beavers. Ravan plays it into Bloomfield. Back out to Ravan on this right-hand side. He'll look to take it forward. Shielded by Williams, the substitute. Ravan tries to play it in along the byline, and it will be out for a corner to Hampton and Richmond on that right-hand side.
The fans starting to get into it now, willing Hampton and Richmond on for this winner.
Deadfield plays it short to Gibson Hammond, who takes the shot, but just skies that one slightly over the crossbar. It's well driven, potentially a hopeful effort.
He did have space and time there. Was quick thinking from the corner, but not to be that time.
Once more, Will Henry will take the goal kick long. Chippenham Town losing faith in their own methods, potentially towards the end of this half. Maybe astute thinking at 1-1. And plays it over the halfway line. Piblado under this one. Takes a bit of an awkward tumble, but Haynes will get up to the header to head it away. Dreyer wins the follow-up. And Johnson now with it, forced back to his own keeper, and that's being chased down by Bloomfield. And we know Henry's been nervy. Henry's trying to win it and has to force to put it out on that far side. Henry trying a bit of skill there, but not really coming off. It's cross in now from Gray, and Gibson Hammond tries to get on the end of it, but it's punched away by Henry that time in more confident fashion. And Deadfield will get on the end of this on the left-hand side, back out to Dreyer. Deadfield still has it on the left, and Mayhew will win this back, and turnover of play. It's Fasson-Maid wants the foul, but it's away with Ravan down that right-hand side now. He beats a player, almost level with the box now. Just turning away from a challenge out to Deadfield in the centre of the pitch. And it's back across to Pip Blado, who turns away from the challenge from Fasson-Maid, and Gibson Hammond has it on the left-hand side. He'll look to play it in for Pip Blado, finds Pip Blado. He's just forced back out into the corner, trying to find options here. Pip Blado taking it into the corner, manages to get the cross in, hit away by Ellison, can't quite get on the rebound, Gray, but Deadfield will play the cross in, trying to find Bloomfield, just flies over with Bloomfield being held down there almost, and it's finally out for a goal kick.
Yeah, a couple of Chippenham players have done well to just keep Mason Bloomfield from taking flight there and actually make a connection with the cross, so good defended in the end, but yeah, just an interesting sequence from Will Henry again a couple of minutes ago. Gives the ball away after some skills and then successfully palms away, but substitute here, Laura.
Indeed, it's number 8, Jake Evans, who will be entering the field, and Tom Mayhew, who will be making way. Mayhew had a pretty decent game so far today, I'd say.
Very tidy on the ball, Mayhew. Very much capable of receiving under pressure and a few nice forward passes as well, so probably look to be a defensive change here from Chippenham.
Yeah, slightly a bit more those tired legs in midfield potentially as well. But Will Henry has the goal kick here. Plays it long out to this right-hand side. Gibson Hammond's under it, but so is Spokes. And Bradbury wins it back. Substitute Evans trying to get onto that, but Dreyer is in chase, and Fasson-Maid trying to get there. Fasson-Maid not happy with Debois just taking a leap over that one, but Hampton and Richmond have managed to work it out from a dangerous position, and Fernandez will nod this one down to Deadfield in the midfield. Lofted forward by Will King, and with just 3 minutes remaining here at the Beverly, Hampton and Richmond need a goal quickly if they are to come away with the 3 points here. It's played long to Bloomfield. Can Seymour get on the end of it? He's brought down in the box, but it is offside in the end. The flag was raised.
Like you said, Laura, dying minutes now, and it will be that time again, whether Hampton and Richmond can pull out that magic.
Henry certainly not in any haste to take this goal kick, but Hampton and Richmond have been able to find a few chances, and we know they're capable. Not many changes either from Mel Gwinnett. Clearly happy to an extent with the players on the pitch at the moment, and it's Brown who's won it back in the midfield, held off by Bradfield, and now Chippenham Town have it back. It's King who will play it out to Johnson on that left-hand side. Searching for Johnson here, and Ravan is in chase. Johnson just turning away from that one, forced back out to King, and Gray will try to close him down, but King manages to get away. Brown in pursuit, and it's a shot, but it's blocked by Fernandez, lifted away by Deadfield, and Haynes will pick this one up outside the box. Chippenham Town committing numbers forward here, potentially going for a win, and I think there's been a collision of heads. Medics called on straight away for both Brown and King in the centre here, and it was off the ball, but it might have just been a bit of a tussle, and not very similar height players, so maybe challenging for the ball there.
Unfortunate and nasty collision here as they get checked out.
Does allow a bit of a rethink for both teams, and potential added time. Could see another goal in the dying minutes once again. Both teams coming over to receive water.
I was going to say before the stoppage, there wasn't much cause for added time, but with this we might see a few minutes now as some of the other games in the National League South look to come to a close. It's Braintree still drawing 1-1 with Slough going into the final minutes. Averley losing 2-0 to Weymouth. That's another team in the mix. And St Albans maintaining their 2-1 lead over Maidstone at the moment. Worthing 3-1 down now against Taunton. Consolation goal won't be enough for them. And Yeovil, top of the league, taking a loss at the moment to Welling. Bath also 1-0 down.
Some interesting results. It would be a real shame if Hampton and Richmond can't quite take advantage of them. It will be a tough few minutes for the end of this match. King and Brown both back on their feet, which is what we like to see here. 6 minutes added time, in fact, have been added on here. Plenty of time for either team to get a goal here. Will be a drop ball here that Haynes will take and plays it out to Spokes on this right-hand side. And Gibson Hammond just watching that one out, but it managed to keep it in, and Haynes will look to take the cross in. Fernandez to head away, out to Ellison. And Chippenham Town don't look happy with the draw here. Amity Holloway now playing it back to Henry. So lots of commotion on the bench for Chippenham Town, just trying to give directions to the team. Ravan will pick this one up in defence now, look to play it long forward. Seymour is in pursuit, it's slightly overhit and it will go straight into the arms of Will Henry inside the Chippenham Town box.
Just giving position right back to Chippenham there, and that is something Chippenham are good at though. They are able to slow the game down when they need to with good control of the ball, and also they have that out ball to Johnson whenever they need it.
Hampton and Richmond back in possession. Fernandez under pressure, plays it into Brown in the midfield. Brown out to Ravan. Ravan trying to find Seymour. Ellison with a diving header to get it away, but Brown will pick this one up in midfield again. And Bloomfield can try and find Seymour. Didn't quite read the run of Seymour there. And Amity Holloway manages to pick that one up for Johnson to clear. It'll be a throw-in to Chippenham Town on their left-hand side. They can look to get forward, but not because of Dreyer, who lifts one forward to clear that one away. Amity Holloway forced into the header, and Bloomfield will pick that up. Finds Ravan on that right-hand side. And now Jake Gray, level with the edge of the box, looks to play the cross in, and it's just too close to the keeper and too far away from the on-running Bloomfield.
A few sloppy passes in there, Laura, to re-give possession to the other side, and we're going to need to see some high quality for a winner to emerge from this game.
Gibson Hammond just taking that one out and across this touchline. It'll be Haynes wandering up to take this throw. Back into Ellison in the Chippenham Town defence. Of course, this match did have a late goal last time and did end 2-1. Will we see something similar here today? Is Chippenham on the attack, and Fernandez just manages to poke that one clear. Johnson's chasing it down, but it will be a throw-in on that right-hand side. Johnson will take it quickly out to King. King back to Johnson on that right-hand side. He has space to cross. Ravan charges that one down, and Gray can break forward now. Gray finds Bloomfield, but it's just slightly wayward off King, and it will be a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond. The game's been pulled back because King remains down. Bloomfield wanted to take that one fast, slightly frustrating for Hampton and Richmond. We're 3 minutes now into the 6 minutes of stoppage time. I imagine there will be slightly more here. It's a yellow card for, I think, a substitute. I think maybe Tope Fadahuntsi down that touchline has just received a yellow card. He was warming up on the far side. And Ravan will take the throw in at the halfway line on that right-hand side. Back into Fernandez. Fernandez assessing his options here. Looks to play it long, trying to find Bloomfield. And it's just slightly overhit. And Amity Holloway can watch it run off the back line. And those kind of balls could now make the difference between a draw and a win here.
Yeah, that's the sort of sloppiness you don't really want to see this late in the game. Need to be building sequences and keeping the ball to muster up some attacks, and Chippenham will take their precious time with these goal kicks.
Henry with 2 hands raised. Goes long out to this right-hand side for Chippenham Town. Deadfield looks to loft it clear, and Brown's under it too. It's all a bit scrappy in the middle. Brown can't quite get the control he wants, and Evans comes away with it, plays it to Haynes, and Haynes will send that one out down the right-hand side. Hampton and Richmond will look to try and take this one quick on the left-hand side. Pip Blado running towards the halfway line, takes the throw, tries to find Bloomfield. Bloomfield heads it on, is cleared by Evans, and Fasten Maid can get underneath that one, runs onto it. Dubois forced out of his box. A hasty clearance. It's not too accurate, but Jake Gray is under it, challenging with Johnson. Gray just sends it forward into the path of Amity Holloway. And Hampton and Richmond have managed to win this one back in the midfield. Deadfield looking for the path of Bloomfield, but once more it's slightly overhit, and Henry will clear that one. Ravan keeps it in on that right-hand side into Deadfield. Gray, now Ravan on that right-hand side. And Bloomfield flicks it forward to Deadfield. Again, on this right-hand side level with the box, it will be a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond. And Chippenham Town not giving any assistance with retrieving that ball.
Yeah, into the final minute now, potentially. So this chance is one of the last.
Ravan level with the box. Throws it in to Brown. Plays it back out to Ravan. Ravan with the cross, tries to find Seymour, and it's a goal! Gibson Hammond, the substitute, has made it 2-1 in the dying minutes once more for Hampton and Richmond. Jubilation at the Beverley.
I'm not sure whether Hampton and Richmond are just trying to put on a show for their fans this week, but they're making a living of this. Added time goals, and it's Alex Gibson Hammond off the bench, made an impact on Tuesday, makes the winning impact today.
Ben Seymour very much involved in that goal, gets the touch at the near post, flicks it towards Will Henry, and then the rebound. Gibson Hammond is on the spot, ready to push that one back into the goal. It's despondence for Chippenham Town, and Hampton and Richmond are in heaven.
I mean, we have commented on Will Henry, and to be fair, I wouldn't even say he's done much wrong there. He's parried it back out, but it was at such close range he couldn't do much with it. Substitute now here, Laura.
Indeed, and it will be a defensive one. Dan Wishaw enters the field, and Ben Seymour is the one to depart. Pivotal in that winning goal. Ben Seymour made his impact, and now his job is done. Chippenham looking to make an impact straight away, and it'll be a yellow card to Gibson Hammond, I think, just for a late challenge on King. Chippenham Town sending the numbers forward. It's in the centre circle, and Will Henry, the goalkeeper, is up to take it. This for the equaliser, for more late drama at the Beverley. Plays it out, trying to find Amity Holloway on that left-hand side. Forced clear by Fernandez, out for a throw-in. How much longer do we have of this game? Haynes, the man with the long throw, taking it on this right-hand side. It will go straight into the box, into the mix. Brown is up, Revan is up. He gets it clear, and Evans is the one who signals the final death knolls for Chippenham Town here at the Beverley. The game is over. It ends 2-1 to Hampton and Richmond, and they've got the 3 points in style once more. What does that do to the table?
Well, Mel Gunnett will be buzzing, because that moves Hampton and Richmond up into fourth now, and with Worthing losing today, they've got a game in hand in Worthing, and they're just 2 points behind them, so they could propel up to as much as third. And to go through the scores, Worthing ended up taking a 3-1 loss to Taunton. Braintree drew today with Slough. Averley lost to Weymouth 2-0. Eastbourne Hemel Hempstead is currently 1-0 Eastbourne. Of course, 2-1 here at the Beverley. St Albans claimed a 2-1 victory over Maidstone. Torquay 4-1 against Dartford. Yeovil lost 1-0 to Welling. Well, it's an added time there. And currently at half-time, Bath are 1-0 down to Thornborough. And 0-0 at half-time between Western Supermare and Dover. What a win here today, Laura.
What a win, and it's almost identical to the result earlier in the season, just in a different order, with Hampton and Richmond going 1-0 down inside that first half to a goal from Owen Evans, managing to get it back to level pegging 1-1 in that second half through the man that is Mason Bloomfield. And then in the dying minutes, potentially the last minute of the match, once more, Hampton and Richmond with the winner 2-1, the substitute Gibson Hammond, to take the 3 points to the Beavers and to propel us potentially up the table. What a big result in these playoff clashes now. Certainly another good day, and hopefully a good Mother's Day present to those down here. Please do join us for our next commentary on Beaver TV and come down to support the Beavers where you can.